Hello, beautiful souls. I am Awakened Soul, and today we'll be looking at Bitcoin. We're going to be setting it up from start to finish, getting it ready for our next trade. As I enter the charts, with no emotions, no expectations. I always enter the charts with a clear canvas. What happened yesterday is gone. What's going to happen tomorrow is not here. What matters is what's happening now, to be in the present moment. That's how I trade. I trade with the flow. I trade in the now. So let's go ahead and begin. First thing is starting off on my 3-month chart. I like to set my range using the previous candle. I never use a live candle, but just using the previous candle, I'm going to use the candle bodies to set my range. And here is my 3-month range. And everything is color coordinated. 3 months are purple. I do a lot of videos, not with my voice, so it's good for you to understand what time frame the trend line is from. So this is my 3-month. I'm going to go ahead and move to my monthly, set my range, and I'll explain why in a bit. Just really easy, right? There's no rocket science going on yet. Super easy. Let's move on to our weekly. Previous candle, go ahead and set your range. My weeklies are orange. Let's go to the daily. In my daily, here's my previous candle. I'm going to go ahead and set my daily range. Obviously, the monthly support is stronger than my daily, so there's no need for me to put a daily trend line here. Yes, it'll cover my month. Well, technically, it didn't cover it. Sorry, I didn't zoom in. So there you go. That's your daily range for today. And the reason I set my ranges, think about price action. And when I say price action, I mean the live price action that's happening right now. Cryptocurrency, the stock market, is energy, a flow that never stops. It's always moving. We have the countdown going on here. Turn on your countdown to bar close. I do use the log scale. I always use the index chart. It is part of my strategy. So when I say look at price action, I mean looking at the live candle. And the reason I set my ranges is because I visually, right here, know that price action is the leading indicator. Price action is telling me right now, not what I think, right? But it's telling me that it's holding daily support. Now, if we continue to hold and we break this weekly support, we'll continue a move to the upside. Of course, if price action breaks this daily support, breaks this weekly support, then we'll come down to this weekly support. So I see price action as an elevator of where the next possible move could be based on key levels of support. And that's why I set those ranges, for me to understand that. But before we do anything else, I want to back out a little bit here. It's also important to understand contraction phases and trend phases when you're trading. Starting my weekly. What are contraction phase? They're just sideways, boring movements. Just really quick so you understand. This could be one contraction phase, right? Sideways movement. We have a trend down. This is a contraction, right? Trend down, contraction phase, sideways. Then we have a trend up. This could have been a contraction phase here. Trend up, contraction phase, sideways movement, trend up, contraction phase. So by you understanding trends and contraction phases, you're able to monetize on the movement. It's a chess game. From this contraction phase, we're going to have a trend phase that will lead us to our next contraction phase. It's the name of the game. Right? From this point, it's either going to go up here, or it's going to come down here. It's a 50-50 possibility, and that's what we're setting up our charts for. As a trader, you come in, you have no expectations. I always start in a blank canvas like I showed you. I set my ranges and I begin. So at this point on my weekly, this is the most important section. This is all I care for. What is this contraction phase doing? Every contraction phase comes with a pattern. So what kind of pattern do we see here? It's important to understand Forex patterns too. So as a technical analyst, I'm gonna come in here. Do I see anything? Pull up my indicators. The best indicator I have, and honestly the only one you should. If I had to give you one indicator, it would be my higher high, lower low indicator. I rotate under the period times. Usually I do 3. I like the 8 as the universe number, or 30. 30 is also good. So I'm going to start off with 3. I'm not seeing much. What about my POC? What is my POC doing? Right? TradingView actually has a free POC here, the fixed range volume profile. When you click on it, just able to highlight the zone, and it's able to tell us where our POC. So our POC is right on our daily support. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that area as a confluence, right? Because I'm looking for confluences of where could price structure move next. Yes, it is a liquidity game. It's a buyers and sellers game. But more than that, for me, it's a game of energy. It's a game of a flow state of market structure. And the charts will do as they please. Doesn't matter if we have liquidity here. Doesn't matter if we have liquidity here. They will go where they please. And that's important to understand, to have no expectations and be okay with whatever comes. So my 4 hours, or actually my daily here. So my daily, we set the range in my 4 hours here. Perfect. So my 4 hours, I want you to higher high, lower low indicator, 30. So it's important for you also to identify your contraction phase within contraction phases. So this was our first contraction phase here that broke to the downside, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it came down. Go ahead and do 1 touch, 2 touches, that's it. 4 hours are green for me. In my 4 hours, I have 1 contraction phase here, 2 contraction phase here. So we have trend down, contraction phase, trend up, contraction phase, and our last contraction phase. So our main focus 4 hours will be here. The reason I start in 3 months, and a lot of people could argue and say why if you're gonna trade the 1 minute, is because I like to understand the flow of the charts. I like to see where price action is going next and know all the possibilities, because one setup, one scalp could give me a swing entry. So let's say we're here in our 4 hours. I think I've said this, but I'll say it again. I use my 12 and 26 EMAs. So here we have price action coming down, up. So this is our focus here. I do use pivot highs and lows. I think it's a great indicator. So this is our zone, this is our price action. What is this price action telling us? What is our contraction phase telling us? First thing is connecting key trend lines. I'm going to highlight this main one. So we have price action come up, down. We connected 1 touch, 2 touches. definitely sideways. What's our POC just telling us? Price action is in POC. So it is Saturday. Usually Saturdays are sideways. Great opportunity to learn how to set your charts. So back to our price action movement. So price action is right here. And this is how you set your charts. When you come in, this is your 4 hours. We set some key trend lines here. We understand price action went up. Now we're here. And even in smaller time frames, you could see those contraction phases, right? Like we have a big trend down here, right down, and then we have a contraction phase here, trend up, then it trend down, contraction phase, trend up, little contraction phase, trend down. So now it's contraction phase. So for you to get your charts ready for next move, your focus is literally just right here. Like this. I feel like this could be a mega fall. And a lot of my charting is intuition, I'm not gonna lie. I have a great intuition. Right, because we have 1, 2, if this is 3, 4, 5. Usually patterns break out in the 5th touch. Oh, see how beautiful this is marking key highs? That's why I love my higher high, lower low. So here, could it be a flag? Right, this looks like a channel. That could be something. Oh, it's pretty promising. We have this contraction phase, we went up, and now it's within this channel coming down. This is actually pretty good, now that I look at it. This will be the 50% of the channel, giving me, again, that confluence of that 50%. It's definitely gonna move really nicely from here. So what do you want to do from here is set alarms. I like this. So it's so simple. It's not that simple. It takes years to understand this. But once you understand this is your range, right? So what's going to happen? Don't overthink it. This is what's going to happen. Either price action comes up or price action falls. It's a 50-50. Literally. It's up to you to be able to not get married to one side of the spectrum and be able to come in and be like, okay, this is my range. I understand what are the possibilities. This is flags. I didn't mark this, but I thought this was a Head and Shoulders earlier. Sometimes it's good to see the previous contraction phase too, because if this is a Head and Shoulders, how did you get we get the measured move, right? We get the measured move, and that's going to help us with our confidence to be able to be like, okay, well, maybe it's not done. Maybe it'll continue to a higher level, creating a new high around 75. And that's just the measured move. I'm going to go ahead and mark it because it could happen. That was in my hours. Green. And nothing's black and white. I come into the charts and I do what the charts tell me. I flow with the charts and I chart them as I see them. So what I'm going to do as a day trader, okay, you have two options. You could set a limit order, or you could set your alarms. Because I teach this, I like to be in the now. I like to set my alarms. So where would I set my alarms here? I'm going to get closer. Start off with the 30 minutes. And my pivot highs and lows. So my strategy is based on three key components. My strategy is based on trendline break, EMAs in your side, and key support or resistance being broken. Because this is my 50% trend line of my channel, I'm going to consider it. So for me to take a long here, I'm going to set my alarm at a key high, considering that to be my key resistance. Because it hits my key trend line. So this will be my key resistance. I'm going to set my alarm. And she will call me when she's ready. You see this contraction phase going on? That was where the POC was. Could it be an H? It absolutely can be an H. You see this? Definitely be an H, right? It's important to be open-minded to anything. Nothing stopping this price action from coming down here. Definitely bounce or just go up or fall. Those are your possibilities. So when I come into a chart, this is my vision. This is what I see, and I stare at it. I look at it. I'm like, okay, this is the vibe. This is what I'm getting. Again, I'm not going to take anything to my alarm. So as a trader, I want to set that key range. The smaller the time frame is, the better, of course, because I'm going to get that sniper entry. So right now I have my key resistance. I like that. Let's be honest here. It's Saturday, like I said. Could it do chop, chop, chop? Absolutely. Could you get chopped? Yes. So be aware of that. Be able to see a chart and understand all the possibilities and understand that, okay, is it worth getting into a short here? Maybe it is, maybe it's not, right? Because what about we enter a short and it just drops? That could happen too. What about, that's why it's so important to set stop losses too. So I don't really use RSI, MACD, none of that stuff. I just do all price action and market structure. I look at the chart. I mean, I love my 1226 EMA because they're part of my strategy, but as I continue my trading journey and I get better, I could just see a chart and be able to be like, okay, well, in the 30-minute, if it's consolidating, I'm not really going to do anything right now till I get that key resistance broken. And you can even set other trend lines before it breaks, like set a trend line here, set an alarm before the trend line hit, set another trend line here, set an alarm, right? Or you could set your limit order. You know, if this trend line goes up, you know, what's your risk to reward ratio? That's something that you have to determine, right? You can set a long there. And I always teach, right? As you can see, it takes a process to set a chart. If you're going to set a chart, always have a long and a short expectation. Because you don't make the rules. It could do whatever it pleases. So for me, right? That will be the setup, and that's what I give my community. It's a 50-50 opportunity. Allow the charts to choose what direction they're gonna go and take the trade. And when I say that I like to do higher time frames, it's because of this great reason. Yes, this will be a quick 30-minute scalp to the upside, and a 30-minute scalp could take hours, days. But let's say it works. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take 75% off my first profit off and let the rest run, because that same entry could give me a swing. So what I like to do is, okay, I took my profits on the first TP, and what about if this does end up being that flag? From that entry, you're able to monetize and get TP here. Why there? Because the 4-hour one touch, two touch. If you know how to do my one touch, two touch targets, you know this would be our next target here. Okay, and let's say it continues up, right? So why not allow it to be there, get that TP, take 50% more off the table, and then continue to leave some for the run, and that could be your final TP. This is why I like to do TA from higher time frames all the way to 30 minutes. And sometimes I'm able to look into a chart and do the 5-minute range. But as you can see in this case, I stopped in the 30 minutes because honestly there's no point on going to a smaller time frame because it's consolidating. And that's up to you to identify and to determine that. So that's my setup for the day. It's gonna go up or down. We have key alarms. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one more just really quick so you can see how fast and how beautiful it is to have this strategy, and you're able to go into any chart. Let's say Pepe. First thing is erase everything, right? And I'm just gonna do it really quick so you can visualize what I see, not explaining so much. But same process, right? No emotions, no expectations. Set my range. I'm not gonna talk by as well. Quick range. Monthly. Quick range. Even though it's quick, it still has to look cute though. That's my monthly. That's my weekly. My day. And what is price action telling me here? Right. I'm not gonna set a key resistance on the day because my monthly is there, and obviously the monthly is stronger. So price action is telling me that it's barely holding day support. If day support is broken, we could possibly see a down movement all the way to the weekly support. Off the bat, that's what the price action and setting my key ranges are telling me. I use the fib channel a lot, and I think it's beautiful in higher time frames again to understand where the flow of the chart is going. I believe everything's energy, and that's how I chart. I'm gonna set my fib channel here. So could we have like, and then just throw it up with key highs, key lows being hit to understand the possible flow. Okay, I like this. So this could be a key resistance zone. This is also hitting a key resistance, showing me key support. And this is just a visual for me to, and I'm gonna erase the fib. It's a visual for me to know and understand, okay, what about this is an H? The resistance hit, we could come to the downside. Where's my 4 hours? Awesome. My 1226 EMAs. Remember, go with the flow. So we have trend down, that's 4 hours. Up here, sorry. So what about if this is a rising wedge? That could be a possibility too. Right, it takes time to identify the patterns, but everything comes. Everything comes. If you don't give up, everything will come. So what about if this is like a channel, possible rising wedge? That could be a play. So where would your range be? Where would you enter? That is the true question, right? Anyone could tell you, oh, it's going up, it's going down. But how do you set your charts? How can you come in here and be able to set your charts? It's really simple. Using your ranges. Again, I'm going to use this 4 hour. The resistance, so my range is right here. Why? Because this is all I care for. My price action, what's happening now. Day support is being broken right now, giving me that short confluence. It's going to come down. Where's my targets? Right, I can make a short. This could be my stop loss. So if we continue to the downside, oh, this looks like a contraction phase. Okay, just go with the flow. It's kind of hard to understand, but I see, okay, this is a contraction phase possible. So if we break key support, this could be a reaction zone right here. So let's say it is a reaction zone, or maybe like a head and shoulders. Now that I am looking at it, like a bigger head and shoulders here. Okay. Right, and if that's the case, so this is why it's so important to leave some running. Let's say we're taking a short, the day support breaks, you short it, take 75% off, and that same entry will allow you to monetize. Because what about it is a head and shoulders? What about if we're able to get this sniper entry, get this 70% off the table to first TP, and then continue to the downside, grabbing that measure move from that possible head and shoulders. What did I say? It could come all the way to the weekly. So that's how I chart. That's how I visualize my chart. So in this case, sometimes I stop at 30 minutes. In this case, this is my range here. To take along, right? This is all I'm gonna set an alarm right here. Again, what does my strategy say? Key resistance, key support, trend lines have to be at the same time. Trend lines are down here. So for me to actually take a long, I would want this is going down. Be the daily. So for me to take a long, it'll be right here. Right? To be a short, I mean, take the short. What's stopping you? Right? Just take the short and set a stop loss. That's simple. Imagine you take a short here, this is your stop loss, and let things be. And that's how I set my charts. I hope you enjoyed what I have for you, and yeah, thank you.